What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm sitting on my floor because just where the background ended up being the cutest in here today. So we're sitting on the floor. We're gonna do a really casual but fun video. I have my personal assistant here taking a nap, so napping on the job, so probably gonna have to dock his pay this month for this. Today I'm going to be doing a video I've been seeing around a little bit called answering true or false questions, and this is kind of similar to a trend on YouTube that was about 2 years ago that was answering assumptions about me. I did one of those videos if you guys happen to have not seen it, or I've had a lot of people come to my channel in the past few months and say that they've just started rewatching and they used to watch me forever ago. So if you happen to have missed that video and you want to see that, I'll link it up here in the cards, whichever side the cards is on. I will never remember for the life of me. So this is kind of similar to that. I had you guys send in on Instagram, which here's my Instagram if you want to follow me. I had you guys send in on Instagram your statements, true or false statements, and I'm going to admit if they're true or false today, so it's gonna get crazy. I love doing Q&As, and anything that's like a spin on a Q&A that gets like juicy and personal, I'll probably do the video. Let's go ahead and get into it. I'm gonna keep these anonymous for the sake of, you know, the people that submitted them. The first one is, Jared made you change your views on marriage / having children. So I had to pick one of these to answer, and I thought I would just do it off the bat because honestly probably the most I got, which is a common theme in some of my Q&As and more personal Q&As, are like, are you moving, or how long are you staying where you're currently living, or where are you gonna move? So questions about moving I get all the time. And then the other one I get all the time is, do you still not want to get married, and do you still not want to have kids? I think I opened up on the internet about those topics like 5 or 6 years ago pretty openly. I haven't really changed my opinion at all on having kids. I think it's most likely not in the cards for me, but I have the same opinion that I've had for years, which is it's never going to be something that I say never ever ever, but that doesn't mean that someday down the line, maybe when I'm 30, 34, 35, that I won't be like, I kind of want a kid now. As for marriage and if dating Jared has changed how I feel about marriage and having kids, I would say slightly, but also I'm definitely in the overall mindset that I'm in no rush for anything. I'm not worried about, oh, like getting older, like I'm entering my mid-late 20s. I feel like I need to get engaged or married. I don't feel any of that type of way at all. I definitely think that everything in its right timing. I think overall I can get ahead of myself sometimes and be like, in a relationship I really can be that bitch that's like, I like call Jared my husband, and sometimes I'm like, do I joke about it to the point of like he's never gonna take me seriously or no one's ever gonna take me seriously? And then in my head I'm like, wait, is this a joke anymore, or am I serious? So truly I'm gonna say this is an inconclusive. Sorry to start it off with an inconclusive. That was a long answer to that. Okay, the next true or false is, you'd move back to LA. I think this is gonna have to be 95% false. I think the only reason I would ever move back to LA is if I really had a big reason to. For example, maybe if 10 years, I don't know, 15 years down the road, I'm long-term with a partner and maybe they get an amazing job opportunity in LA and I'm able to move or something and it makes sense. Like, you know what I mean? I think it's one of those things that if like down the road, it was like something that, oh, we're gonna move to LA. I don't see that being a thing that would happen for me in my life. But I also don't wanna sit here and say, oh, it would never ever happen. But I don't have any plans to move back to LA, and I don't particularly want to live in the LA area again. I would rather live other places. I feel like I've been there, done that, you know what I mean? You guys know I'm a person that I kind of like exploring, but I've lived in 3 different states and I want to at least live in one more city or state in my life. I think it would be shocking if I ever moved back to LA. So I'm gonna go ahead and say 95% false, even though the person that asked this question is going to hate that answer. You did have an actual emo breakdown when a man tried to turn off Rihanna. This is true. My ex-crush, though who will not be named because of this, you know, over the summer, doing some karaoke, my favorite Rihanna song was playing. I think he maybe thought it would be funny to get a reaction out of me. And we had outside, we had this huge, like really loud speaker, like large. It wasn't even an amp, almost something for a band. It was large. And Rihanna was blaring. I was performing karaoke. I'm dancing, I'm on the deck. I am dancing, I'm belting out Rihanna. And then all of a sudden, in the middle of the song, he unplugs the speaker. I did have a breakdown. I think it was alcohol induced. I was very, when I tell you I threw an alcohol induced temper tantrum. It was dark. None of my friends ever forgot it, and I did forget my crush. So that's how that ended for him. I'm just gonna say it, don't unplug my music when I'm performing. There will be drama. Okay, the next one is, you wanted to open up about risque topics on YouTube way earlier, but were nervous how your audience would react. Well, this is true and false, because what's true about it is, yes, I always wanted to be more open on YouTube about sex and substances and experiences and educating and advice on particularly sex and substance experiences, because those are things that I feel like are kind of important to give advice and talk about and to know about, and especially before you get into something, you know what I mean? So I always wished I could talk about those things on YouTube, not that I couldn't. My channel just wouldn't have been able to really be monetized on any of that content, which is why I started my Patreon, which, if you guys don't know, I think most of you guys know, that is now where I upload my sex related content and my substance experiences. I don't know what I'm doing. I hate that for me right now. So the true part about this is that, yes, I wanted to open up earlier, but we're nervous about the way my audience would react. That actually wasn't it. I haven't really been worried about that pretty much at all. I think my audience gets me so well, and in the past couple years really filtered out people that don't really connect with my content anymore, especially being on YouTube for like 11 years, people that may have, left over the years. Like, I have the best audience I've ever had. Not that it hasn't always been amazing, but just a really solid, supportive community. And so I wasn't worried about that at all. It's more just the, working with brands and everything that goes into having a YouTube channel be your primary career. It wasn't how the audience would react. It was just more being able to, not get strikes to my YouTube channel, which would have been very, very risky, risking losing everything or losing, my channel. The first part about it was true. The second part about it was false. I feel like I'm not giving straight answers here. I'm like, well, this is like 87.3% true about me. Okay, next one. You had COVID at some point, but never mentioned it. And then in parentheses it says, I don't actually believe this, LOL. Well, as far as I personally know, I have not had COVID. I haven't tested positive for it. Any of the times I've gotten a COVID test, which is I've probably had 4 COVID tests now. It was more of a preliminary measure before traveling home to see my family at Christmas, etc., things like that. And I tested negative for all of them, and I haven't had COVID symptoms. So as far as I know, like, I haven't had the antibodies test, I don't think. As far as I know, I haven't had COVID. Like I said, I got a lot about moving, so this is the only one that I picked to answer that's related to moving. You secretly want to move to another state. I think this is pretty much false. I don't actually want to move right now. I actually really, I finally am getting my house here in the place where I'm really, not that I haven't settled in, but like getting it to how I want it to look and getting it ready for my house tour. I swear that's coming either this spring or summer, you guys. Keep me held to that. I'm actually not looking to move at all right now. I'm very happy with where I'm at. I'm very happy in Boise. So excited for the spring and summer. The spring and summer are like my favorite here, because I'm just not like a winter person. I do, like I said, I want to live in more places in my life. So I have an obsession with Austin, Texas. I do feel like a big part of my, Southern yeehaw energy does belong there. I think I will hopefully live there someday, even if it's for a short period of time. I would love to live in Vancouver, BC. I get comments sometimes that are like, why don't you just move to Canada? Or like, you belong in Vancouver, you belong in Canada. Listen guys, I've looked into it. It's not so easy, especially COVID, the border, it's not easy at all. It's very, very, very difficult to just move to Canada and not just be on like a traveler's visa. You know, so these are places that I can travel to, and I don't necessarily have to try to get up and move to Canada. But I think, so, wow, I really went off on a tangent here. I would say that this is false. I do not secretly want to move to another state. However, yes, I do want to live other places, but I'm not in a rush. I feel like I do always address moving in my Q&As because it's seriously like the thing I probably get the most questions about, because I've been a little back and forth in the last year. I thought I was gonna move back to Atlanta, and then I completely changed my mind over the summer. So I know it's been a little confusing over the past like year. My thoughts on moving have actually changed, so really anything could happen, but as of, you know, now, I'm definitely very happy with where I'm at. And that's the truth, and that's from the heart, y'all. Okay, next one is, you claim to be sustainable but won't give up eating meat. So I do eat meat. I'm not a crazy meat eater. Probably eat chicken a few times a week. If I'm at somebody's house for dinner and they're making meat, or somebody's cooking for me and they're making meat, I'll most likely eat it. There is some meat that I literally never eat, that I never purchase. But yes, I do eat meat occasionally. It's not something I've ever given up, well, besides when I decided to be a vegetarian for like 9 months in high school. I have not ever been a vegetarian. I have not ever been a vegan. I think that is an amazing way to be more sustainable, and that it's so extremely helpful to cut back on your meat eating, which is something that I've absolutely incorporated over. I've never been a big meat eater, like I said, but I've definitely incorporated eating less meat, buying less meat. And I think that's an incredible way that you can be more sustainable. But I also think that sustainability goes far beyond just animals, and it goes into clothing production and the cars that we drive, and how much plastic we use and consume, and how we recycle, and the amount of things that we throw away. Lots of things go into, you know, the idea of being more sustainable, and not eating meat is definitely a really great one. I think that it's incredible and so like kind to the earth as well as animals to choose to be vegan or vegetarian. Maybe someday I will be a vegetarian, but I do think that it's okay to focus on certain areas of sustainability that you are going to practice. And everybody doesn't have to do everything. So for example, if you are a vegan, you don't necessarily have to be perfect in every single other area of sustainability. And I also think that you can be sustainable by choosing to do things like not using plastic bags and not purchasing excess plastic, and you can choose to drive a hybrid or a more green vehicle, or you can choose to walk everywhere and not own a car. There are so many ways that you can practice sustainability, and I don't think this is like a hard thing with the sustainability culture, is thinking that you have to do everything perfectly, and not one person has to do everything. So yes, I do occasionally eat meat. So I guess overall this is true, but like I said, I have my thoughts on sustainability in general, and that there are many ways that you can practice it. Okay, next one. I got a lot of these ones too. You want to adopt another pet soon. Is he listening? Oh my god, he literally fell asleep like right behind me. So cute. So this is completely true. Everything in me wants to adopt another pet. I don't remember if I've just talked about this on my podcast or on YouTube, but I am very held back from it because of my current dog, and I do feel like he is obsessed with being the only child, and I just go back and forth, and I question a lot if it would benefit his life to get another dog. So that is literally the only thing holding me back, pretty much. And I think I will at some point, but I also really go back and forth with thinking that he is just so obsessed with being the center of attention, the center of the world. He has a lot of jealousy issues, and not issues, but he just likes to be, you know, the center of attention dog. So I do struggle with thinking about, I don't know if his life would be better, or if he would be not happy. And of course it would take, you know, of course, an adjustment period for any dog. So I would say, yeah, this is completely true that I want to adopt another pet soon, but will it happen? I don't know. It'll definitely happen at some point, but I guess, like I said, I'm just very, very indecisive back and forth on this one. Okay, this one is, you regret not furthering your education. No hate, by the way, I love you. I get a lot of stuff like this, and this is completely false. Went to school, graduated, did the program that I wanted to, and I haven't had a desire to go back to school, and that is not to say that I never would. If I think I try to put it like this: if I really wanted to do something that I absolutely needed to have, you know, for example, a bachelor's degree or something, then I would probably go ahead and get that. If I found, you know what, this is going to be something that I think is essential for me and my career moving forward, I think I would go ahead and go back to school and do it. But I haven't found that I have really needed a degree in my career thus far, and I know that's particular for my situation, but I think it just depends on the job, depends on your career path, depends on the job. I already said that. So yeah, this one is false. I think education, like anything, is just like a personal choice. It's like, what do you want to do for you, and you know, just like anything else. So I think what's right for one person isn't necessarily right for the next person, and I think some people use their degrees for sure, absolutely, but I think also a lot of people don't use their degrees. So like I said, depends on the job, depends on the career, depends on what you are pursuing. You're an impulsive person. I would say overall, yes. I think I definitely can be impulsive, not always. I'm very indecisive, as we've seen in this video. I think I definitely can be impulsive, not with everything, but overall, yeah, I would say most likely. Okay, the next one is, you've never gotten a speeding ticket. This is absolutely false. I have been pulled over many times, mostly for speeding. I haven't been pulled over in a while, knock on the wood that's on the floor right now. I have gotten multiple speeding tickets, probably minimum 5, maximum 10 or 11. Oh, I've gotten a lot of speeding tickets over the years. Lindsey used to be a little speed demon on road trips. That was what it always was going on really long road trips, because the cops kind of just are like, if you're covering that much ground, that much land, they have a higher chance to get you. But like I said, I've been better in recent years. And I feel good about that for me. That's this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I definitely had fun filming this, and I will be back very soon with another vlog for you guys. Feel free to always go check out my Patreon if you want to check out my secret content and support me on there. It's always linked to the top of the description box below. And if you enjoyed this video, you guys, and you made it until the end, give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the video to be pushed out a little bit more and helps me. Thank you guys. That was creepy. That was my trash alarm. That gave me a fucking fright. Thank you guys so much for watching, as always, and I will see you very soon in another video. Bye.